Once upon a time, nestled deep in a sunny, green forest, lived a little bear named Ben. Ben had soft, fuzzy, brown fur, a cute button nose, and a heart full of sunshine. But this morning, the sunshine in his heart felt a little cloudy. Today was a very special day. It was Ben's very first day of school. He sat at the breakfast table, pushing his honey-covered berries around his plate with a tiny wooden spoon. He wasn't hungry. His tummy felt like it was full of jumpy, wiggly tadpoles. Mama Bear, with her warm, kind eyes, noticed her little cub was quieter than usual. She sat down beside him and gave him a gentle hug that smelled like pine needles and sweet clover. "What's on your mind, my little honey bear?" she asked softly. Ben looked up, his big brown eyes wide with worry. "Mama, my tummy feels funny. What if school is too big? What if I don't know anyone? What if I miss you?" A little wobble appeared in his voice. Mama Bear pulled him into a cozy, warm cuddle. "Oh, my sweet Ben," she murmured, stroking his fur. "It's perfectly okay to feel a little nervous. It's called having the first day jitters. It's like when butterflies flutter in your tummy because you're about to do something new and exciting." She looked into his eyes and smiled. "School is a wonderful place, full of new friends to meet and amazing things to learn. And I have a secret for you." She leaned in and whispered, "Every time you feel a little lonely, just reach into your pocket." Ben reached into the pocket of his little blue overalls. Inside, he found a smooth, heart-shaped stone, painted bright red. It was warm from his mama's paw. "I put a little bit of my love right into that stone," Mama Bear said. "So whenever you hold it, you'll know I'm thinking of you, and I'll be right here waiting for you when you come home." Ben squeezed the stone. It felt solid and comforting. He looked at his mama and managed a small, brave smile. The tadpoles in his tummy seemed to calm down just a little. "Okay, Mama," he said. "I think I'm ready." So, after a final gulp of berry juice, Ben grabbed his little backpack, shaped like an acorn. He held Mama Bear's paw tightly as they walked out of their cozy den and onto the sun-dappled forest path. The air was fresh and smelled of damp earth and wildflowers. Birds sang cheerful songs from the branches above, as if they were cheering Ben on. As they walked, Mama Bear pointed out all sorts of interesting things. "Look, Ben, there's Sammy the squirrel, gathering nuts for the winter. And see that beautiful bluebird. She's building a nest for her family." The forest was alive and bustling, and seeing everyone so busy made Ben feel a little less alone. Soon they saw it. Nestled in a clearing, under the branches of a giant, ancient oak tree, was the forest school. It wasn't a big, scary building. It was made of logs and moss, with a roof of green leaves and big, open windows that let the sunshine stream in. A kind-looking owl with big, wise spectacles stood at the door, greeting the students. This was Miss Owl, the teacher. Her feathers were a beautiful mix of brown and white, and she had a warm, hooting laugh that made everyone feel welcome. "Good morning, Ben," she hooted cheerfully as he and his mama approached. "We are so very happy to have you join us." Mama Bear knelt down and gave Ben one last big hug. "Have a wonderful day, my brave little bear. Be kind, have fun, and I'll see you this afternoon." Ben squeezed his mama's paw, took a deep breath, and waved goodbye. He clutched the little red stone in his pocket and walked bravely toward the school door. The classroom was buzzing with happy chatter. There were animal friends of all shapes and sizes. A family of beavers were busy building a small dam in a water tray. A fox cub with a fluffy tail was looking at a picture book, and a little deer was carefully arranging flowers in a vase. Ben felt a little shy. He stood near the doorway, unsure of what to do. Miss Owl noticed him and swooped gently over. "Welcome, Ben. Why don't you come and join our morning circle? We were just about to sing a song." She led him to a colorful rug where all the other children were sitting. Ben sat down between a cheerful-looking badger and a tiny field mouse. Miss Owl started singing a song about the colors of the forest, and soon everyone was singing along. Ben was a bit quiet at first, but the song was so catchy that he soon found himself humming along, tapping his paws to the rhythm. After the song, Miss Owl brought out a big basket filled with colorful paints and thick paper. "Today, we're going to paint a picture of our favorite thing in the forest," she announced. Ben loved to paint. He chose a big piece of paper and dipped his brush in a pot of bright yellow paint. He decided to paint a big, smiling sun, just like the one shining outside. He painted big yellow rays spreading all across the paper. Then, he took some blue to paint the sky and some green for the tall, swaying trees. He was so focused on his painting that he forgot all about his nervous jitters. Next to him, a little squirrel named Squeaky was painting a giant acorn, and a fawn named Willow was dabbing delicate pink spots onto her paper to make a field of wildflowers. They all shared the paints, passing the pots back and forth. "Could you please pass the green, Ben?" Willow asked politely. "Of course," Ben said, carefully handing her the pot. It felt nice to share. After painting, it was time for playtime. There were so many wonderful things to do. There was a corner filled with blocks for building tall towers, a sandpit for digging, and a cozy reading nook filled with cushions and books. Ben decided to go to the block corner. He started building a tower, carefully stacking the wooden blocks one on top of the other. It was getting taller and taller, but just as he was about to place the very last block on top, his paw wobbled, and the whole tower came crashing down with a loud clatter. Ben felt his face get hot. He thought everyone would laugh, but instead, the badger cub who had been sitting next to him in the circle came over. "That was a big crash," he said with a grin. "My name's Barnaby. Want to build an even bigger one together?" Ben's face broke into a happy smile. "Okay," he said. Together, he and Barnaby started building. They built a magnificent castle with towers and bridges. It was much better than the tower he had tried to build alone. He had made a new friend. Later, Miss Owl announced it was time for a snack. Everyone washed their paws and sat down at the little wooden tables. There were apple slices, crunchy seeds, and fresh berries to eat. As Ben nibbled on a juicy red berry, he looked around the classroom. Everyone was chatting and laughing. School wasn't scary at all. It was actually fun. After their snack, Miss Owl gathered everyone on the rug again for story time. But just as she was about to start, a tiny, quiet sob came from the corner of the room. A little rabbit with long, floppy ears was sitting all by herself, looking very sad. Her name was Rosie. Miss Owl went over to her. "What's the matter, little Rosie?" she asked gently. Rosie sniffled and held up an empty paw. I lost my crayon," she whispered. "My favorite one. It was sunshine yellow, and I can't find it anywhere." Big tears rolled down her furry cheeks. Ben's heart felt a little squeeze of sympathy. He remembered how he felt that morning when his own tummy was full of worries. He wanted to help. He looked around the classroom, searching for something yellow. His eyes scanned the floor, the shelves, and the tables. Then he remembered something. During painting time, he had been using a bright yellow color for his sun. He looked over at the art table. And there it was. Tucked right under the edge of his own painting was a small, sunshine yellow crayon. It must have rolled away without anyone noticing. Ben carefully got up and walked over to the art table. He picked up the crayon and brought it over to the little rabbit. "Is this it?" he asked softly, holding it out to her. Rosie's eyes lit up. She stopped crying and looked at the crayon, then up at Ben. "Yes, that's it. My sunshine crayon," she exclaimed, taking it gently from his paw. She gave him a shy, grateful smile. "Thank you, Ben. You found it." Ben felt a warm, happy feeling spread all through his chest. It was even better than the feeling of the sun on his fur. He had helped someone. He had been kind. He looked at Miss Owl, who was smiling at him with her big, wise eyes. She gave him a little nod of approval. Ben realized that school wasn't just about learning colors or building towers. It was about being a good friend and helping others. When the school day was finally over, Ben packed his painting of the sun carefully into his acorn backpack. He said goodbye to his new friends, Barnaby and Rosie, and promised to see them tomorrow. As he walked out the door, Mama Bear was waiting for him right under the big oak tree, just like she promised. Her face lit up when she saw him. "So, how was my little honey bear's first day?" she asked, wrapping him in a big, warm hug. Ben hugged her back tightly, his face beaming with excitement. He couldn't wait to tell her everything. "Mama, it was amazing. I met a teacher named Miss Owl, and she has spectacles, and I made a friend named Barnaby, and we built a huge castle, and I painted a picture, and Mama, I helped a rabbit named Rosie find her lost sunshine crayon, and she was so happy." He talked the whole way home, his words tumbling out in a joyful rush. He told her about the songs they sang, the snacks they ate, and the story they heard. He completely forgot about the nervous tadpoles that had been in his tummy that morning. When they got back to their cozy den, Ben took the heart-shaped stone out of his pocket. He hadn't needed to hold it all day, but he was glad it was there. He gave it to his mama. "Thank you for the love stone, Mama," he said. Mama Bear smiled and kissed the top of his head. "You were brave, all on your own, my sweet Ben." That night, as Ben snuggled into his bed, he wasn't worried about tomorrow at all. He was excited. He couldn't wait to go back to school, to see his friends, to learn new things, and to have another wonderful adventure. And as he drifted off to sleep, his dreams were filled with sunshine yellow crayons, tall black castles, and the happy, hooting laugh of Miss Owl. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow for more wonderful stories.